Well, hey guys, how you doing? Nate and Joy here, and we are excited to be back on the video podcast, whatever.
Back on. We've never video podcasted.
Actually, so yeah, welcome to the very first video podcast. So this is actually a bit of a setup of what we want to start doing more often, bringing content about leadership and missions and Jesus and Gen Z and all things that we've been learning through the 20 plus years of doing ministry. But today, that is not what today is about. This is actually going to be a very short and sweet little introduction to what season I think God is calling us into, and not what I think. It's definitely a season that we're being called into.
Yeah.
But that's a season of
thrust.
Yeah, definitely thrusted. Season of fundraising and support raising again. We haven't really done a big push for maybe a decade.
Yeah,
we've done it sporadically.
Like we've done sporadic, for momentous things like trips or things that have come up or specific needs. And we have periodically, called people and been like, hey, would you like to join our support team monthly? But really taking time now to say, you know what, we need to build up consistent support network. Not just financially, but also prayer covering and also staying connected with people. We have to broaden our horizons these days.
Yeah. And that, I think there's so many different layers, to what's going on right now. There's a lot of really awesome partnerships coming up with YWAM Yosemite, which we're going to be diving into in another video podcast, just about ending Bible poverty and the send and mobilizing Gen Z and some of the long-term teams that we're going to be sending out and mobilizing, and a lot of really fun stuff. And so that obviously requires finances on our part, personal finances to go up, because that means we have to travel. We have to go to these events and
personal finance. That's all that's it. It's all finance is finance for us. Yeah.
Finance is finance. So, and then of course the other, area that I think a lot of people in America are suffering is with the inflation and being in California. We've been hit so hard to the point where I'm like, man, I feel like we've lost a lot of monthly supporters. And actually the opposite is true. We've actually making a lot of monthly support. God's been really good. People have been, it's just not, we couldn't adjust is how fast gas prices and insurance and fire insurance and how everything just went through the roof. We literally just couldn't adjust fast enough as a family. And so with that, we've been robbing Peter to pay Paul over the last year and a half, really. And
just shuffling funds.
Yeah, shuffling funds around and trying to make it work. And really, we're just to be completely vulnerable, just in a state of enough is enough. We have to literally double our support if we want to stay in California, if we want to stay doing ministry. This is one of the most expensive places to do ministry in. And that's not, I guess that's not guilt trip. That's just the reality. We're called here, so we believe God's going to provide where He guides, right?
Yeah.
The old saying.
Oh, hey, that rhyme. Oh, yeah.
I didn't come up with that.
I know. I just haven't heard that since the 90s.
Some YWAM speaker back in the day said that. But.
No, but it's real, because we want desperately to be good stewards of people's support and the investment that they put in us, and so. We work really hard at seeing all of these initiatives push forward and caretaking, for lack of a better term, YWAM Yosemite as the ministry and then our family as well. But, travel and connections and all of the things that we need to do to not only move forward in ministry, but then also to raise our family and to be able to accommodate the lifestyle we need to be able to have, to be able to full-time be running after this.
That's not a lavish lifestyle. It's a lot of planes, trains, automobiles, plus having children. That's a cost.
Oh, and then we had another one.
Yeah, we had that surprise third, which she's amazing. So but if you guys know anything about anything, kids are not cheap. They are a blessing.
Also 14 years ago, diapers and wipes and that kind of stuff was not as it was way
I should have
less
stockpiled 14 years ago, my word.
Oh my gosh.
So one of the things is we need to double our support. That's a big undertaking we're really excited for, and we felt like the strategy that we want to utilize is actually connecting more with our network that we currently have, the supporters that we currently have, and then actually reaching their networks and trying to expand our horizons, so to speak. And I think the upside of being in YWAM for 20 years is you have a lot of experience. You have a lot of, I guess wisdom, maybe a little bit of wisdom. But one of the other things
we've been around the block.
Yeah, we've been around the block. What that also means is we've tapped a lot of our networking resources. We've hit the glass ceiling, so to speak. And so we're really going to be dependent on being connected with our current network. And that's actually really exciting. The problem is there's a couple of problems. One of the main problems is that requires travel, that requires us driving, through California, through the West Coast.
Which we're so down.
We're down. We really felt like God's called us to do this. We're really excited. And we've been kind of making preparations and plans just to find out that our car's head gasket just blew, which it shouldn't have, because it's a new car, newish. We bought it brand new.
That car has been through...
It has been the thorn in our flesh.
Well, and it's not the car's fault.
No, we taught a YWAMer how to drive in it, and if you're watching this, it's not your fault. But that was the beginning of this.
And
she wrecked it,
and then a tree fell on it. The next year,
fell on it. Then we got hit by a deer.
A deer hit me.
Yeah.
I did not hit this deer. This deer hit me.
That's created all those suspension issues. Yeah. But anyways, we're not going to bore you with those details. But basically, it's going to be at least a $4,500 to $5,000 job to get the car fixed. Yeah. So we're in a bit of a limbo of what do we do with this car? Yeah. We need a vehicle. Obviously, we're a family, so just for practical getting around. But in order to go fundraise, we need a vehicle. And so that's a big thing that we have to come up with, is funding to get our car fixed. And then because we've been robbing Peter to pay Paul, we need to catch up on bills. And so
it's so hard to figure out what to shuffle where. And
and
it's
so
just exhausting.
Again, I think we're just being vulnerable. This is our reality. We've taken in essence, we're missionaries, right? We're ministers. And so we didn't get into this to become rich and famous. And we're still not trying to become rich and famous. We're just trying to, pay our bills and make sure we can still be obedient to the call that God's put on our lives. And so one of the things that we just wanted to do is just jump on here. We're going to be posting a link on this video and on our social media. And if you feel led to just to sow into this next season of fundraising, we need to have a kind of a jumpstart, a kickstart, if you will, of funds to come in to help us get our car fixed and to help us get on top of some of the bills that we need to get on top of. And then that way, when we go out and we're traveling, we're going to different churches and small groups and university groups, or wherever we end up, we're doing so in a vehicle, A, that can get us there, and B, not worrying about the bills. And so, so just follow that link, whatever link that I end up posting. Actually, it's probably just going to go straight to our YWAM Yosemite site. Of course, it's always
I do the pointy thing that influencers do, but I don't know where on the screen.
Yeah, we're really bad influencers. So,
well,
how about on the count of three, we point where we think it's going to be? Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
I just follow his lead.
No, not all the time.
I try.
So, anyways, egalitarians, who knows?
We're in this together.
We are in this together. So
the Lord is the pilot, and we are both just hanging on for dear life.
Anyways, I think. Yeah, so that's the deal. Like I said, I want to keep it short and sweet, and I think I don't know how many minutes in we're on. It's actually saying we're at 284 bars, and I don't know what that means in minutes. But
this is our first one.
Yeah, we're just learning here. But yeah, just to kind of prep you though, as we start rolling these out more often, one of the things that can really help is if you guys like and subscribe to this. That sounds completely ridiculous, but hey, it's 2023. Yeah. This is how we convey This is how we communicate.
Both of those are the same word.
Yeah, both of those. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
That's why I just corrected myself, and then you corrected me. It was like a double portion of correction.
I was empowering you to use either one.
Okay. All right. So, so if you do that, one of the things that could happen is, especially on YouTube, is if we get enough likes and subscribes, we can actually start monetizing the content that we put out. And we promise you, not every single time we get on here. In fact, we want this to maybe just be the last time, and maybe we'll do an update on our finances, but we're not actually going to use this platform to do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
We just decided that if we want to keep doing this thing, though, we need finances. And that's just the reality of it. But really excited for some of the content that we want to start bringing our way. On top of that, Joy's music and wanting to release that. If you guys, I think she's made a whopping $8.
I have made $10.
$10
I have
on
made
her
$5 twice
on her song. She's got 2 payouts of $5 each. So if you go to Spotify or Apple Music or Google Music or Amazon,
it's on all of it.
All of those platforms, whatever fancies you.
I mean, Spotify and iTunes is what hits the most. Because that's what people use.
But yeah, you guys go download that song, put it on a playlist.
Just Joy Nielsen is
listen
the
to it over and over and over again, and like I think we get paid out by however many streams it gets. I don't know.
It's a whole algorithm.
But hey, again, it's 2023. We could actually get paid for this stuff, so that's a whole other thing. So if you're like, I actually don't have any money right now, but what I can do is I can subscribe, and I can share this because we're probably gonna get Joy on here, even talking about being a mom in missions, and that used to be a blog, and no one reads blogs anymore. So
that's part of the thing, right? Like we started doing this because we wanted to be able to communicate more frequently and better with more people about what we're doing and who we are. And so with the fundraising part of it or the support raising part of it, it's just recognizing like we don't want to be like, not to knock it because we've done it forever, but we didn't want to be like the email list people anymore. We want to be able to feel
and you guys,
like we're
no
talking.
one read them.
Well, I mean, some people did.
I think out of the hundreds of people on our email list, I could look and maybe 60 people would read them.
Yeah.
Maybe 60.
Which is not to knock the people who didn't read it. It's just recognizing like times have changed.
Times have changed. And I think
times have changed.
I've heard from a lot of you guys that this is actually easier because you can be stuck in traffic and you can just be listening to us and then laughing at us and how stupid we are. I
do capitalize on awkward.
Yes. Yeah,
I spoke at a women's retreat once and somebody came up to me and like when people come up to you and they're going to say something positive. So you're like, oh, this will be really sweet. And she was like, I just love how awkward you are.
Yeah,
that's
why I don't speak at women's retreats.
Was my encouragement. It was encouraging though, because I was like, you know what, if people love it, then I'll just
embrace the awkward. All right.
Yeah.
So that's really also, I think, one of the things that we want to, I guess, get across is we don't want to have this polished up for you guys. We want to be really real and vulnerable and just talk about the reality of doing life together, doing missions together, doing ministry together, raising a family in missions in YWAM, all of those things. And I think sometimes we really underestimate the perspective that we have because a lot of you guys tell us, all the time, or you're asking us all the time. And so one of the things that we really want to flip the script on, what does it look like to be in ministry or to be in missions, but to still serve those who are supporting us, whether that's financially or whether that's prayerfully or whether that's just like sharing our content. However you guys end up supporting us, we have so many supporters that we don't want to just haphazardly go through the motions in life by just maybe sending a quarterly or yearly email. And I guess that's all fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, like we want to serve you, and this is the way. Like I can't be in front of every single one of you guys, but this is, I think, a way that we can serve you by creating content and letting you guys kind of take a peek into our life, and the people we get to hang out with, and the people that we work with, and getting them on this and talking to you guys, and again, it's 2023. This is the way it goes, and I love it. I love being able to create content. God's a creator, and He expressed His love for us and all of humanity and the gospel through creativity and through communication. And so we hopefully we can capitalize on that and do a good job. So anyways, you have anything to add?
I don't think so.
I think we said we wanted to keep it short, but we have a tendency to ramble on.
We like to talk, though.
Yeah. So all the important stuff was at the beginning. If you made it this far, we thank you so much. But again,
if they made it this far, it's because they're stuck in traffic.
You're stuck in traffic. Oh man, you're probably like in Southern California, or you're in the line to get into Yosemite National Park right now, because that's equally as chaotic.
That's real.
Yeah, someone legit just told me that it took them 2.5 hours to get from Oakhurst to the park entrance. So if you have no reference for that, we live in Oakhurst, and the park entrance is about a 25-minute drive without traffic.
Without traffic.
So 2.5 hours that would normally take half an hour, less than half an hour, 2.5 hours to get to the park, then another 2 hours to get from the gate where you pay to get in to get to the actual destination in the park they wanted to go to. When they got there, there was no parking. So they literally had to drive around the loop, which took them an hour and a half, never got out of their car, and then drove home, which took another 2 hours.
You know what we should do?
So they literally drove, how many hours is that? It's like 2, 4. That's like almost 7, 8 hours. Not worth an amount of hours. Mathing is hard right now, but
unless it's like the first time ever, but still.
Anyways, this conversation, this has no bearing on.
No, it doesn't. But you know what we should do?
Car washes while they wait. That could be a great fundraiser.
Yeah, no, I was thinking while they're in line, we just get in line too, and then we just get out and walk up and down and preach the gospel to people in their cars. We should offer them something too. This is also why we need funds, because then we could buy a bunch of water, like water bottles, and hand out water. We are
doing that in 2 weeks,
to
actually.
people's.
We're taking a bunch of youth.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we don't leave early enough to get there, like to get past all the traffic, and there is traffic, we can still do that stuck in
That's
traffic.
such a horrible idea, because you do not give people water when they're stuck in traffic and they can't pee anywhere.
It's the forest. They'll get out and go on the side of the road.
Honey, they already doing that, and then they leave toilet paper all over the side of the road, and it's disgusting. It becomes a bio-waste hazard.
So no water.
Your blessing ends up becoming a curse, because then it's like, can you imagine like a car full of kids, and then they just pound all the water you give them? You're a mom.
I would take the water personally.
No.
You're right. No.
Stuck in traffic. Everyone has to pee.
This is why we need each other.
Bad idea. Maybe like you give them a porta potty, just like on a trailer, just on the shoulder of the road, just with a porta potty. So, no.
Well, my brain just went to trying to come up with a name for that.
That could get real messy real fast.
Ministry.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys know of a really good ministry name for putting a porta potty on a like trailer,
the Park Service would thank us.
No, I doubt that.
Well, it'd be better than the white roses.
That's true. A white rose, for those of you who don't know, it's a common thing up here. It's when people poop in the woods, they wipe, and then they put it on top of the poop, and they just leave it. And we call
that was really graphic.
That's what it is. Oh man, we've digressed. All right.
It's okay. You can edit this.
I'm not editing it. This is just the way it is. We're not editing anything out. This is just, we're going.
I was just like, we'll just talk.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
No one's got time for that. So anyways, like, subscribe, just go to the link at the bottom if you guys feel led to give. And then the second thing is
give to our porta potty ministry.
That
plans.
too. DM us or message us. Text message us. If you text message me, I am like the world's worst text messenger.
Sure.
Is that a word?
Sure.
Is that a phrase? Sure. But if you want us to come to your church or to your small group or to your college group, to your coffee club, to your, I don't know what you guys do, wherever you gather with people who love Jesus, we want to come and talk to you guys.
We want to hang out.
We want to hang out. We want to, just connect and bring you up to date with what God's doing in the world, how you can actually become involved. There's some really cool initiatives that we could actually just bring to you guys, and you can just run with in your own community. Mm-hmm. That's really sweet, including your high schoolers. If you have high schoolers, just some really cool things that they can get involved with from their home, from your very own living room, on social media and different movements like that. So anyways, we got to call it. This has got to be done. This has got to be done.
And to summarize, in order he was like, listen, to summarize.
I'm listening. Are they listening?
I don't know anymore. I lost it.
There's dog hair on your microphone.
Sometime Luna probably won't meander through this.
Yes.
And you
Anyways, what was your final thought?
My final thought was to just summarize that basically we want to keep going. We want to move forward. We want to do more. We want to continue doing what we do now. And it takes full-time brains and it takes full-time energy. And in order to be able to do that full-time, we need monthly support.
Yeah.
We need
consistent
support from people who want to partner with us, because we don't want to just, take the money, but we want to have a network. We want to have people that we know, listen, we know if you're sowing into us financially, to use a biblical phrase, that you'll probably be thinking about us and praying for us and staying in contact with us. And we need that.
Yeah,
we
Jesus
need that
said
a
something
lot.
about where your money is, your
Heart.
one of your organs is at too. Yeah, your heart. So, anyways, that was really awkward. I just wanted to join the awkwardness. All right, so we're done. We'll see you guys next time. Remember, do all the things: like, subscribe, share this with your friends.
There's a link
Even if you're
somewhere.
like, I can't give, but I know this person will give to these guys because they're idiots and they need it. We would love that.
They're not idiots.
No,
You're
no,
talking about us?
yeah, about us. Well, me. You're not an idiot. You're
None
very
of us
smart
are
and
idiots.
intelligent.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. I love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.